We've traveled around the country this year. We've touched both oceans and we've touched both countries, all of North America, and we've had a blast. But where was our favorite? Stick around, because in this video you're going to get the results of where our favorite is, my favorite, Kylie's favorite, and Jacob's favorite, and we're all going to tell you why. So you're going to get the whole gamut from the grown-ups to the kids, so stick around. Alright, so we're going over all the places that we've been and picking out our top places, the favorite places that we've been in 2023. We've been, like I said, from ocean to ocean, southern border to northern border. A lot of places, a lot of parks. So, a little bit over here. Jacob, what was your favorite place that we have been in 2023?
Big Bend National Park.
That was my favorite, you stealer.
I'm not a stealer, you chicken nugget rat.
I kind of like that one too, but okay, we'll go with that. So what was your favorite part about Big Bend National Park? Because it had to be really amazing because we went twice this year.
Because we get to cross over to Mexico and eat over at Jose Falcon's.
Jose Falcon's, yes, that is. Run
amazing.
It is amazing food.
Personally, I really liked it because of space, astrology. They had that little program at night where had the big telescopes out, saw the moon.
You're right. The first time we went, when we stayed up at Marathon, at the Marathon Motel, they had that.
Yeah, but then about the second time, they also had it outside at the campground. Not the one with power, but the other one.
Oh, okay.
The one where they were also telling the stories, and they said Venus instead of Aphrodite.
Right. Yeah, and what he's talking about crossing over into Mexico at Jose Falcon's, the original restaurant over there, and you got to understand about this part of Mexico that you can cross from the national park. This little town in Boquillas didn't even have power until just a few years back, and it's still only on solar power. But this restaurant is still run by Miss Lilia Falcon, which is the founder's daughter. So her and her husband run it, and they're very involved, and they even bring their volunteers over, and I think we saw signs and talked to her about where they actually adopt the road for the 2 miles leading into Big Bend National Park from the U.S. side, coming out of Marathon. What else do we like about there? You said you liked it too. He stole yours. What was your favorite part other than the astronomy?
Probably the fact that it had so many different sights to see, like had the river to mountains, sand, stuff like that.
It was huge and stuff everywhere. Right on the river. Alright, well.
What about you, Dad? What was your favorite?
Anything? I'm going last. See, your elders go last.
No,
so,
like, what was your favorite thing about Big Bend?
Oh, my favorite thing about Big Bend, I think it's got to be, like you talked about, the vast expanse. I mean, the park is so huge. I think we even talked about it while we were driving through that you can't see the park in a day. You can't see the park in really 2 days and do it justice because it goes from mountains up in the old cauldron where the volcano blew its top off in Chisos Mountains all the way down to the desert, the Chihuahua Desert, which I've still never saw those little chihuahuas. I don't know where it got its name from.
I have one more thing.
What's your one more
Those
thing?
are the big alligator crocodile. What was it?
That was at Big Bend, the largest crocodile ever found. What was it, like 30 feet long or something?
I think.
It was huge.
It had like a super long name that I'm not going
It
to
looked
try
like a way bigger version of a mosasaurus.
Yeah.
It was huge. And when you go through that, because your nanny and granddaddy went on the second time and they missed it, when you're going through that exhibit, don't forget to look up when you're going through the prehistoric exhibit. Because there's a full-size pterodactyl hanging from the ceiling. You got to see these things. And they found it all right there in Big Bend.
My one more thing is when we went back the second time, we got to surprise our grandparents.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. We slipped in on them and they didn't know we were coming back into the campground. And we were there and set up when they came back into the campground. That's favorite for this one. So what about you? Where was your favorite place that we visited in 2023?
I really liked Niagara Falls and going on May to the Mist.
Now, both of you stole mine. Now I got to come up with something completely different. That was pretty cool. So Maid of the Mist. Well, what else did you enjoy about that?
Maybe going up inside of the tower and your constant joking about you not being able to do it because you being terrified of heights.
Yeah. Oh yes, you guys know I am extremely terrified of heights. And I made dinner reservations in the buffet at the Skyline Tower, which is on the Canadian side,
It's
overlooking
over
the falls.
700 feet?
Yeah, over 700 feet up, and you go up the elevator, and the elevator is on the outside of the tower, and it's glass looking out over the falls.
They call it the
And
bug.
the bug, yeah, it looks like a bug, and I felt like a bug inside of it, like I just wanted to crawl up in a corner. What was your favorite part of Niagara Falls?
My favorite part about the Niagara Falls is the colors on the falls.
That was cool at night because we saw it from the American side and from the Canadian side.
Are you sure it wasn't the blondes that were at the border crossing?
Yeah, somebody might have a thing for blondes, and especially
Shut it!
the blonde border guard when we were crossing into Canada. That was.
Stop that!
And he says he might move to Canada just because they have so many blondes up there. So if you guys are Canadian,
Never said I might.
I'm getting all
make
mad.
sure that you
Oh, someone's so flustered.
make sure you leave a comment down below about the blondes in Canada,
No.
just for Jacob over here.
No!
But back to the colors, it was really.
My friends can see me.
It was really
poor
cool
thing.
because on the American side we saw it and it was all kind of different colors, and then we were on the Canadian side looking over at the Horseshoe Falls from the top of the Skyline Tower. It was only red and white, which is the colors of the Canadian flag. That was really interesting, and I really enjoyed the Maid of the Mist. They took care of us going out there to see everything. We loved it. Can't recommend the Maid of the Mist enough. And both ships that they have going out now are fully electric. They plug these things up and charge them in between trips out, and it can completely turn around in its own spot. So really amazing.
I love the Maid of a Mist because I get wet. It's refreshing.
Yeah, you got soaked. You were really soaked. And then I think something about you made the first ever model of Niagara Falls.
I'm
Wow.
guilty. I'm guilty of that.
You're
Guilty of what?
guilty of it.
Yep.
You guys make sure you go and check out the shorts. I'll try to put a link to it down below, but you don't want to miss this. Also, just know when you're going into Canada, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. Tell them exactly what you're doing and what's going on. If they put you into secondary, don't worry about it. They put us into secondary, and I think it was because we'd never been. It was our first time there. We were camping, and so, I mean, they went through and kind of looked through the vehicle, make sure you don't have anything there, and we were on our way. Coming back into the U.S., so we went across the Peace Bridge. We came back across on the Rainbow Bridge right by Niagara and had no issues there. The American border guard just asked questions and we were on our way. So, any final thoughts on Niagara Falls? Well, let's see. I guess that leaves me. I will say Boston. Or should I say Baston, where we drove the car and we camped in Baston. It was really, my favorite part was all of it. There's 1,000 Trails Park that we stayed at there for 3 weeks. Where we stayed was kind of right between Cape Cod and Boston. So we were able to go into Boston and walk the Freedom Trail, which is what, 2 miles, 2.5 miles, something like that. Staying on the brick. Somebody had a problem coming off the brick at times. You didn't want to get off the brick, and somebody else had to pick them up and carry them across streets and stuff. But you go in, you can tour the Massachusetts State House, pretty much walk through history and learn about Paul Revere. We got to go in Paul Revere's house, and we got to see where the Boston Massacre happened. Got to see some really cool street performers that were going on right outside the Commons. And then, you know, started in Boston Common, which is the oldest park. Got to go through some of the cemeteries and such. Did have pizza there. I had clam. Was a big dinosaur there. I had clam chowder in a bread bowl. It was amazing that we had there in the Common. It's a great educational opportunity, I thought, as a parent for the kid. I mean, what do you guys think? Was that a cool homeschool lesson as far as history and getting to actually see it and walk and touch? And we got to stop in 2 or 3 of the pubs where the American Revolution actually started.
We went to 3 different pubs.
3 of them, yeah, where Ben Franklin and Paul Revere and some of the others actually sat and talked about how the revolution was going to happen. And we learned that some of the things we've always heard, like Paul Revere and his midnight ride and hanging the lanterns, weren't really totally accurate. He never completed the midnight ride, and he never hung the lanterns. We still don't know who hung the lantern. It was just a friend. But we loved it so much, we are going back to Cape Cod for the summer, where we're going to be work camping up there in Cape Cod in the Boston area and Cape Cod National Seashore.
Yes.
So there's so much up there to see, so much to do. And then last thing here that we're going to throw out there is, of all the places that we went this year, is there anywhere you would not recommend to anybody with the family, or that you wouldn't want to go back to?
Pico Pico. Wait, what is it?
Pio
Yeah,
Pico,
that's
P Thousand Trails, Pio Pico, and that wasn't so much the location or the area that we were in outside of San Diego, as much as it was the actual campground itself, the lack of security that we felt there. It was so close to the border, the crossings that came by, and the Border Patrol flying at treetop level at midnight. I mean, they were doing their job, what they were supposed to do, but it just didn't make you feel safe in that area. You have another favorite. She has another favorite. Here we go. Where is it?
Oregon pipe.
Oregon pipe cactus. Oregon pipe cactus, I think, does deserve an honorable mention. How about you?
I don't know, because I don't really like cactuses.
Cacti.
That would be cacti.
Okay, cactus.
And I'm just talking about the park in general.
Okay, listen.
Oregon pipe cactus.
When we were on like our scavenger hunt, we went to an Oregon pipe, which is gone. Like the biggest,
Yeah,
the biggest
it died.
Oregon pipe cacti. What?
It was dead. They have a patch. In addition to the Junior Ranger program there, they have a Desert Ranger program where you can get a patch. And it's for adults, but kids do it too. We all did it. Driving around. And one of the things, and it tells you to get out of the car and how many steps and what direction to go and what you'll find and look for. And one of them was the largest Oregon pipe cactus in the park. And they said if you stand around, you can hear why they're called an Oregon pipe. Unfortunately, it was non-existent. So, a book they've got to redo. Apparently, it's been dead for a while. They just haven't changed the books around. But that's a really cool park. It's right on the border. Be very careful when you're in that park, because the park butts right up against the border wall, and the Border Patrol can get kind of rude if you happen to get onto the border road instead of the park, and there's really not signs in all the areas. I understand there may be signs now. That might be because of us or some guilty people driving down the road just looking at the border wall or what have you. But it is a cool park, really convenient to Tombstone, Chiricahua, Tucson, Saguaro National Park, all that area. So if you're in that area, definitely swing down and take a look. So, any last minute thoughts?
Going back to Dodge City, Kansas. For the second time.
Yeah, we've been to Dodge City twice. She liked that. Tombstone was really cool. It's down in that area too. You got to check it out. There's just so much to check out. Be sure to go back through some of our videos. Let us know where your favorite places are. Where did you go this year? And what's on your agenda for 2024?